Yo, what is happening, lovely people? I am on my way to my pop-up for the day. Looking forward to this one. Haven't done it for a couple of weeks, so let's go. Had a little bit of issue with the van this morning, actually. Didn't want to start. It was feeling really groggy and a bit rubbish, but I realised it was the carb. The carb had got like stuck, like inside the carb. It basically had just sort of stuck itself. So popped off the air filter, accessed it, give it a little carb clean, and we're right as rain. That's why I love this van. It's so analog, it's so easy to use. So let's go. Okay, just quickly, going to show you how to drive this van. It's all very old school, very basic. This is my gear lever. This is an automatic. It's actually got a 2-speed power glide. So at the minute I'm in park, so what I do is I drop it down to the bottom. So you see that? So up in park, that's reverse, that's neutral, and then drop it down to the bottom, then one up, and then we're ready to go. We're just basically in drive. And then down here, this is my handbrake. So that's the handbrake on, handbrake off, and we're ready to go. And that's it basically. And then just, you just roll away, and we go driving. So it's got no power steering, so it's quite heavy steering. But once you get going, it's absolutely fine. So there you go. Blasts along. Right, I'll see you there. Yo, so I'm parked up, I'm here. Ovens are lit. I'm going to get some prep done. Today I'm running a new special here actually. A lot of these guys here are vegetarians, so they quite often like to have a veggie thing. And what are we running today? Hold on a minute, let me just track me. There we go, active track enabled, there we go, then I can move around, ain't got to worry. So yeah, we're running... it's going to be a tomato base. It starts off life as like a margarita. Going to hit that with, got some nice thinly sliced red onion, got some nice olives. I'm going to roast off some aubergine. I'm going to cut some little aubergine chunks and roast them off in the oven in a minute. So roast aubergine, olives, red onion, that gets baked. I'm going to finish it with a little crumbled feta and a little balsamic, just to give it a little punch, and that's gonna bang that one. I haven't done that one before. I've done a similar vibe to that, and yeah, we'll see how that one sells here, because quite often, I mean, these guys like a premium pizza here, but yeah, we're gonna run with that one today. So actually, what I thought I might do today in today's video is talk a bit of business actually, because I touched on that previously, and a lot of people are asking about sort of like the ins and outs of running like a pizza truck. I mean, I can really only do it from the point of running it in the UK, because I know the UK legislation and the rules and regulations here and stuff like that. So sorry, it might not be that helpful for anyone in the US, or anywhere else in the world for that matter. But yeah, I'll see what I can do. So stay tuned, bear with me. I'm going to get prepped. I need to give it a good clean down as well. It always gets a bit flowery dust, no matter how much you clean in here after a service. Once it drives around, things move around a little bit, a little bit of dust and crap will come out the oven, stuff like that. So yeah, it always needs a little wipe down. So I'm going to give it a good spray, a good clean. I'm going to get prepped, do some food prep, and I will be back. So see you in a bit. Right, you know what? I thought whilst I'm actually setting up, I might as well just talk to you a little bit. So I'm just going to get my shelf set that I put outside. Right, so what I thought is, whilst I'm actually setting up, I might as well talk to you a little bit. And I'm just cleaning down actually. One of the things, like I said before, that people seem to want to know quite a lot about is the business side of setting something like this up and running a pizza business, and kind of like costs that are involved and everything like that. So the way I started it was with a bicycle. I had a very, very small startup cost actually, just one rock box to begin with. That's back in the day when I got it, I got it on the original like Indiegogo campaign, which is like the crowdfunding campaign that they did when they launched it. And that oven was about 330 quid, something like that, £300, something like that. So it wasn't a massive cost for the oven. I started with a bicycle trailer. So my bike trailer was actually, it was built by somebody else who was going to start to trade as a bicycle pizza maker. And I was kind of like, I was wanting something similar, and I was going to completely build it myself. But I actually found that there was these guys that built this one. They never used it. They sort of did it and then didn't bother. And I found them on Facebook. Just randomly found this picture, and I got in touch with them, and they still had the trailer. And I sort of messaged them, and I sort of said like, I wanted to ask them questions about it, where they got it from. Stuff like that, how they did it, and they were like, oh well, you know, we're not actually using it. And I said like, do you want to sell it? And they kind of said that they'd entertain an offer on it. So I drove there. It was down in London actually. It wasn't that far from me. I drove down into London, took a wad of cash with me, took my big like estate car, and I basically bought it there and then. Took it home. Needed a lot of like adjustments made to it. I'd sort of they'd set it up a bit rubbish, to be honest, and then I kind of rebuilt it the way I wanted it to be, and then yeah, I could fit. So in that bike trailer, I could fit one oven, a small gas tank went in there as well. I had a little hand wash sink that actually went in. Like I had a bike that went in the basket of the bike, the front of it, or strapped it to the top. I took like, I could fit 4 dough trays, so enough for 60 pizzas, which is quite a push for one rock box anyway. And that's how I got started. I got a pitch in my local market, which I pay a pitch fee for my local market as well, and that's kind of how it all began. So I was there just on Wednesdays on my market. And it just kind of like I kind of built it up from there, and I sort of earned a bit of money. Decided I needed another oven, so I bought another oven, and then I bought a gazebo, a small little gazebo, and some like tables and things like that. And basically, so I could do sort of other gigs without the bike trailer. I could put everything in the car, go to people's houses, go to their gardens, stuff like that. Do events as well. And I just did I did that with 2 rock boxes. So I was doing the weekly market with the bike. Any small local event up to like 30 or 40 people, I'd do with just 1 rock box and the bike setup. And then then I basically did bigger stuff with the gazebo. Ran that for about a year and a half, made some money, put that back into the business. I probably started everything with the bike trailer, with the oven, like no more than, I reckon £2,000 probably it cost me to get set up, maybe 2.5, which wasn't a lot. I made that back pretty quickly. And then basically, I fast forward a little bit. I decided I wanted to have something a little bit different, a little bit cooler, something that could go a bit further and sort of all be built in. So I had a Piaggio Ape, a 3-wheeler built, and that was custom made. That actually cost me £24,000 to build, because it was like a brand new vehicle. It was stripped. It was built around how I wanted to work, and that could fit everything I needed in it. It fit like my gazebo. It fit 4.5 meters worth of table. I could fit in that. I could fit. What else went in that? It's like everything. I could fit 270 dough balls in that, which was enough. Like that literally filled it. I could fit 18 dough trays, which is actually the same as what I can fit in this vehicle right now. So the Ape could actually deliver the same amount of pizzas that this thing did at a big event. And that had 2 rock boxes built into it, which was wicked, absolutely awesome, epic little van. I ran that for 3 years. And just on a side note, if you are looking to set up a business like this in the UK, there is a few things. It's very different to other parts of the world, especially in the US, because in the US you have to have like I believe you have to have like a commercial kitchen, things like that. So this is a question that gets asked a lot, so I'm just going to go back a little bit. Basically, when you set up, you need to register your business with your local authority. You generally 28 days before you start trading. You need to have at least a level 2 food hygiene. Like I did level 2 and then level 3. You need to have full paperwork. I showed you the paperwork in my day in the life video. You need to have like a full like hazard analysis, critical control point set up, a whole like due diligence thing, a whole like just everything. You need to have insurance. You know, have good what is it, public liability insurance generally when you're going to do events. They want that. Employer's liability if you employ someone. I've got product liability. My van needs to be fully legit. I need to have gas installation done. I need to have all the electrics checked, everything like that. That needs to be certified every year. Obviously this needs to be insured. There is a lot to do. It sounds like a lot, but it's actually not that hard. So once you're set and you've done it all, it's pretty easy to kind of, you know, just tick along nicely. It's and there's a few places like I'm registered with the NCAS, which is the National Catering Association. They're actually they made it really easy. It's all done online. You can do all your kind of like all your paperwork online. They've got like templates which you can change and stuff like that. And you, with your like membership, you get. This isn't an advert, by the way. I'm just saying I've been with them and it makes it easier. You can. There's loads of other things out there. There's the government one, which is safer food, better business, which is free. It's just a lot like harder with the way you've just got to do a lot more like legwork yourself. And I've been with NCAS, and basically I get a discount with my insurers as well. So it's kind of paid for itself over the years because I have like a Cater Protect pack, which gives me product liability, public liability, and everything I need basically to be legit. So yeah, NCAS, National Catering Association, check them out. They make it pretty easy. I'd say, as I say to everyone, always like shop around, look around, see what's best for you and your business. But yeah, that's how to set up a food business. And then you just basically need to keep paperwork. You need to log fridge temperatures. If you use a freezer, you've got to log freezer temperatures. You've got to do like there's a lot to do. So it's not just a case of like rocking up and cooking some food, you know. Everything needs to be checked and legit all the time. You know, if you're serving food to the public, you've got to make sure that you're doing it properly. So yeah, there is all of that. Anyway, fast forward. Yeah, the ape. So I had a custom-built Piaggio ape made that was absolutely epic. It only did 28 miles an hour. It was built by a company up in Hull, which is up north in England, and it was cool. It was very cool. It just hummed around, like it had everything in it. It was like a magician's toy box. The amount of stuff that I could fit in that and I could pull out of it was absolutely epic. And yeah, and I ran that for 3 years. I did massive events with that thing. Baked, literally filled it. Did events where I baked in about 6.5, 7 hours. Baked 270 pizzas, quite regularly. With just me and then Ben out standing up in the gazebo. But basically, after three odd years of using that, 3 winters, 3 summers, it was cold, it was wet, it was miserable being outside. I mean, essentially I was inside, but I was still outside. So basically, I decided I wanted a bigger van than this. So I'd made some money. I basically the van, the ape had paid for itself well and truly. So, and I'd saved up a little bit, and so I reinvested in this. Found this vehicle at a dealer in Alabama. I used a guy from a guy called Reese, who actually I met. Actually, just quickly, a lot of people ask me about this. This is like a stainless steel condiment tray from Royal Catering. Very expensive, ridiculously priced, to be honest. It's really handy for keeping all my pizza cutters in. Keeps them separate. Really, really handy. Anyway, so yeah, a guy called Reese that I met. He basically runs a company called Morgan's Classics. He is an absolute legend. So we actually met because going back to my ape, when I had my ape built, they put some tyres on it which weren't when it was built, which weren't really fit for purpose. They were white wall tyres, but they weren't like up to the kind of. They were a bit too small. They were meant for a smaller van, and I kind of pulled them up on it, and they sort of said, "Oh, that's all they could get" and stuff. Anyway, I made them send me some proper tyres, and those ones I sold on because they'd been used. So, and he bought them. Basically, he got in touch. I put them on like one of these Ape kind of Facebook groups, and he wanted them for a smaller vehicle. So I sort of did him a good deal, sold him the wheels, the tyres, and then sort of years down the line, I kind of realised that I got in touch with him because I knew that he did American stuff, and he shipped these Apes to the States, and I wanted an American van, and I thought, well, you know, this guy probably knows where to get them. So I got in touch with him, and I was like, mate, can you find me a van? And he was like, yeah, I can find you a van. And he found me a van. So he searched so many places. He's got good contacts over there, and yeah. So if you're looking for an Ape in the States, like a 3-wheeler, check him out. Reese Morgan's from Morgan's Classics. Anyway, he found it for me. It was a dealer in Alabama. I had it fully checked and made sure that it was legit. Hold on a minute. I need to put some time into prepping, so I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I can't remember where we were, but basically I had to just do a little bit of prep. So, yeah, going back, where was we? We were Ape. Oh yeah, and then this van, I was talking about Reese. So yeah, they found me this van, had it shipped to the UK. This van, before I had it shipped, cost me to get it in the UK in like a very basic state where it needed everything doing to it. It cost me £17,000. So that was before anything was done to it. So 17 grand landed in the UK, and then Reese picked it up and took it back to Wales, in Swansea, and that's where it went through a 6-month refurb. So the minute it arrived into Portsmouth, and it had best part of like 6 months put into it, like 1,000-hour refurb at a cost. So sit down. The final amount to build this van on the road, delivered to me, like a lot of metal work, 6 months of work, engine work done to it, full build out, built around me, it cost me £58,000. Now that was fully paid for by myself, you know, through basically selling and making pizza. The good thing is I didn't have to pay for it all in one go, because it was basically he has his fabricator who I was sort of paying invoices as it was being built. So it was kind of split over 6 months, which was very handy. So yeah, and then basically since then I've done a couple of extra little bits to it here and there. Realised that I wanted to uprate the springs and the suspension slightly, because although they were fine, I just wanted it to be a little bit stiffer, a little bit less sort of American in the corners, and yeah, so we did that. So yeah, I mean it's a 58 grand van basically, and it's fully paid for. So I've had this now, what, 3 years? 3 years, 3 years I think. So I'm just prepping some aubergine for today's special. Just to let you know, this is just chunked up aubergine, put a little oil on it, little herbage, little dried herbs, just some mixed herbs, just to give it a little bit of flavour, and then it's just going to get a nice little browning in the dome for a couple of minutes. So we're just going to slide it in there, and that's going to cook off. Dome is actually, that one's at 540 degrees. I've dropped the temperature on that one because that one got up to temp. Got one spare aubergine. I'll keep that for another day. Yeah, so £58,000 for this van, which is a lot of money, but it has allowed me to go a lot further. It's allowed me to charge a premium for my services. It won the British Street Food Awards Best Looking Food Truck in the UK in 2022. It's like a complete one-off on the streets of England, and quite frankly, it's amazing. So yeah, looks epic, does what I need it to do. Absolutely stunning van. Very rarely has let me down. I mean, very easy to fix. You know, this morning, like I said at the start of the video, had a bit of an issue with the carb, but I'm not mechanical whatsoever, but I've learned quite a lot and I can fix quite a lot on this. So, you know, just popped the air filter off, had a look up in the carb and realised it had sort of just seized itself up a little bit. So a little bit of penetrating fluid, a little bit of carb cleaner, and we're back in business. It started straight away, and it was running like a dream on the way here. You know, the other week a fan belt snapped in the morning. Yeah, it is 52, 53 years old. Fan belt went. That was an absolute easy fix. Luckily I had one. 20 minutes on my drive at home, and I had it done. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah, 20 minutes and I was back in business basically. So I'm just going to show you what I'm doing here actually. Let's have a look, see if you can see this. Let's go down a little bit. Come on. I'm cutting onions. Everyone seems to like it when I cut onions, but it's not going to do it because it's following my face. So I'm cutting onions. Let's move you over, then you might be able to see what I'm doing and put all the prep, because people seem to like watching the prep happen. I realise I say a lot because I'm just doing this on the fly. It's not scripted, it's just me. So, where was I? I interrupted myself by cooking. Right, so, yeah, had the van done. Absolutely epic, can charge a premium. But my pizza is still really good value. So all in all, you know, I have invested quite a lot into my business. Now I could have done it a lot cheaper. I could have just bought like a trailer, a cheaper trailer, stuff like that, and done it a lot more simple. But that's not me. The reason I have this vehicle is because I love this van. I was a delivery driver before this for 14 years. I've always driven vans. I love having a van. So this van in particular was actually the same van as Big Worm in the film Friday with Ice Cube. Love that movie, one of my favourite movies from childhood. Cheech and Chong, Up in Smoke. They had a GMC, which is basically the same van, a P10, which was the van in that, the green one, you know, that was pretty damn cool. It was in a few movies from my childhood, so I love this van. Always wanted one of these shapes, and that's why I'm in it, and that's why I had to pay a premium, because they're rare. I knew it would be rare, but I feel as though if you're going to do the street food game or like event game, you need to stand out, you need to be different, you need to have your own little spin on things, and that's what I try and do. So let me just flip these. So yeah, that's that. So going back to the finances, you know, I've sold enough pizza to buy this van. I bought it, I paid for it myself through just working myself and doing that. So I earn decent money. This is my only job. I don't have another job. My wife has a good job. There is 2 of us in our household. She has a decent career, which does help, and it does afford me being able to kind of mess around a little bit, take some time off. But I earn very well with this. You know, I've got my partnership with Gozney as well, which I do shoots with them, which are paid for. I get paid to do those. I was a brand ambassador and then became a Gozney partner, which means I'm part of a partnership with them. I'm an affiliate. I have affiliate marketing, which I earn money from as well, where like if people click one of the links in my sort of Instagram bio or like a link, then I can earn off of that. It puts like a cookie on their computer or on their phone. If they then buy that item, I then get a kickback. So, you know, I have other avenues, but all of my money comes from pizza basically. And I mean, I could show you on here. I'm happy to do this. A lot of people don't seem to not like to talk about the finances. So what I'm going to do is actually, whilst that just chills out, I'm going to spin you round and I'll show you. So this is, let me see if I can get this down. This is the iPad. This is my point of sale thing as well. A lot of people ask me about this. So this is my point of sale. On this side, I've got my Spotify. On this side, I have my till. Okay, so this is just, it's called Zettel, and there's a card reader that just sits outside there. And this is my menu. Okay, so today I haven't got the Zucker. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put that one. I'm going to just put that one in a folder to get rid of it. Going to get rid of the extra Nduja on that one. Get rid of that, and then we're just going to add a new product. So, and we're just going to call this one veggie special today, and this one is going to be a tenner, so £10, and I just hit save, and then that pops up there. I move the folder, move it around, and then that's there. And then so what I do is if someone comes up, they order a margarita, a veggie special, I hit charge here, I hit card, cash, or if they want to pay by PayPal, but generally I don't really take cash unless it's spot on. Hit card, connects to my card reader, they tap, and then that's it, and then I don't have to do anything. So just delete that out of that folder. So let's clear that off. But so we can go back to earnings. So let's have a look at my report. So this is, I'm going to show you this. This is what I earn month by month on average. So if I take you back to 2022, okay, so this is January in 2022. There was £5,100, and then February 5,900, March 7,000, April almost 6,800, May I did 5,000, in June £14,000, July I took a bit of time off, and some of that 14,000 was invoices that were paid for like weddings and things that I was doing in July. So July and August I generally take a bit of time off for school holidays, so that dropped down to 2,000, so it kind of like levels out. 5,000 in August, 6,000 in September, 4,000 October, November 6,000, December 4,000. So that was a pretty good year, right? On to 2023, you know, start off January with 4,000, then 3, 4, April 3, 2, May 5, 3, June back up to 9 grand. So June and July I took what, £20,000 in just 2 months. And remember, I do this alone. I have one helper that helps me on the events. September 5, you know, getting into the winter months, it drops down a little bit, but I generally take some time off in December. So that's a decent amount of money, you know, that goes through the till. Okay, so there is, you know, more that actually goes into it as well. You know, there's more earnings. There's all of the stuff outside of my point of sale and my event invoicing, so it can be pretty good. Not to say that everyone can do that, and you need to understand that actually I only do this 1 to 2 days a week. So sometimes, most of the time, it's 1 day. In the summer I might do it 3 days because I'll have an event on the weekend, but I generally do 1 to 2 days a week. So if you've got the drive and the ambition and you want to earn some decent money, then if you were to do this, if you have a decent area where you're selling a decent amount of pizza and you're not relying, haven't got big staff costs, haven't got everything, you can do pretty well, you know. But it all depends on what you want to do. You know I could work more. I can go to pop-ups, I can go to places, pubs and stuff, and I could probably earn a lot more, but I am very happy with what I do. I have a good life. I have a good amount of time. I have Mondays, generally every other Tuesday. I have Thursdays and normally Fridays off to myself. You know, and then I might be working on the weekend. I might be doing events, stuff like that. So I have a pretty good lifestyle. You know, as you might have seen from one of my other videos, went down, did the Gozney shoot, camped out in my camper. You know, spend a bit of time most mornings. I'll head to the gym. I like to cook. I like to chill, you know. So for me, I've had my year. I'm 43 years old. I've had enough of my life working for someone else, you know, being a delivery driver, I was working 55, 60-hour weeks, and I can earn more in one day than doing this than I did in a week. So, but for me, I love the pizza, I love the product, and that's what it's all about. It's about enjoying what I do, serving what I want to serve, and I earn good money. I could charge more as well, but like I've said before, pizza is a value meal. It shouldn't cost a lot of money, even though, you know, I put a lot into it, a lot of passion, I reckon. A lot of love goes into the product. So yeah, if you're thinking of getting started, there is quite a lot to consider, but the rewards can be pretty cool, and you're doing it for yourself. And you know, every time I serve pizza, I know that the money that I'm earning is going into my pocket, basically. So, but as far as the products go, the cost as well, as everybody knows, pizza has got a decent markup. You know, I never made a business plan. I never did that. I don't actually run the numbers that often. I just know that I always have money in my bank, in my pocket, and that's enough for me. I have more coming in than I have going out, which is good. I can pay the bills, and I can have fun. So I can buy myself stuff whenever I want it, which is cool. You know, I've got wicked camper van, and generally a pretty cool life. So as far as I'm concerned, anyway. So yeah. As far as the costs are concerned, it's dough, sauce, and cheese. My cheese is 4 kilos, cost me about 30 quid, 28 quid. So, you know, it's like £9 a kilo, something like that. I get about. So the cheese is the most expensive thing to put on a pizza, basically. So it all comes down to how much your products cost is how much you should really be charging. I probably make on a £8.50 margarita. I probably make. Let me just check the time. So it's getting on. £8.50 margarita. That probably costs me about. It'll cost me under 2 quid. So, I mean, the box is expensive. You know, I pay for custom boxes. I put a liner in them. Each box costs me about 35 pence. Probably costs me 70, 80 pence of cheese per pizza. Then there's the toppings, depending on what, on a margarita. The sauce is cheap, to be honest. 1 tin of tomatoes will get you almost 30 pizzas. And the dough, 25 kilos of flour cost me like £24. Or not even that, I think it's like 22 quid. Anyway, and that's just flour, water, yeast and salt, which is again cheap. So it's cheap to make a dough ball. I wouldn't overly worry about the numbers. Like, just make sure that you're making good money on it if you're going to sell it, or making enough that you're happy. I understand my overheads are a lot less than everyone else. You know, I don't have premises. And touching on the premises thing, in the UK, did I say this at the start? Yeah, I just do this from my home. So the registering, when I said about registering the business 28 days before you start, basically that fires up your local council to get an environmental health officer in touch with you, and they will come to your home or wherever you're prepping, and they will check it out. So my home address is fully checked out by the environmental health officer. They come to your house, they go through all your paperwork, go through all your process, make sure it's all clean and up to scratch, and that's what forms your like food hygiene rating. And I've got 5 stars. I've kept 5 stars ever since I've started. I've never dipped below that, and they check the vehicle as well to make sure that this is all legit and all good. So that's the other thing that you have to consider. Make sure that where you're prepping is up to standard. I know in America you do need a commercial kitchen to do that. So that's an extra cost involved, and that's why like you might pay $16 for a margarita in America, and here you'll only pay 10 quid. So there's a big difference. Well, mine's £8.50, but so I don't have the rent, the rates, the overheads, the staff cost, everything like that involved in what a lot of people will be having in a pizzeria. So that's why I can charge what I charge. I prep everything fresh. So like today, like I'm working today and tomorrow, so I've only cut enough cheese for today because I want to cut it fresh. I want it to be right. The dough, so yesterday I made this dough yesterday for today. So this is about 24 hours old now. At 8 o'clock last night I was balling this dough, or 8:30 last night I was balling this up. I was making my sauce, stuff like that, ready for today. This morning I was up at 6 a.m. in the shower, sort out the kids, got both kids dressed, ready for school, went downstairs, made my dough for tomorrow. So tomorrow's dough is gonna have a slightly longer fermentation in the bulk stage anyway. Made that, got my kids, took my kids to school, came home, loaded up the van, made sure I was prepped. Then I had to fix the van because it didn't want to start, and then drive it here and set up. So later on when I finish here, I'll probably be finished here, done with service by 2 o'clock. Generally I'm normally sold out by about 1:30 here. So it's a clean down. Back home, I've probably got to stop off on the way home, get some more gas, so I've got to do that. Go home, empty the van, clean everything, run it all through the dishwasher, clean up, re-prep cheese, re-prep sauce. Later on tonight I've got to ball up the dough for tomorrow, which is more work because it's more dough because it's a longer day. Got to make my sauce as well, and then tomorrow morning take the kids. I am up even earlier. I've got to take the kids to school because they do early morning club because I go to the market. So then I've got to get to the market and I've got to do it all over again, and then go home and then unload and clean and stuff like that. So that's one reason I do not do this every day, because I couldn't imagine having to do all of that day in, day out. It's just, it would become something that I didn't enjoy. And for me, making pizza is enjoyable. I think if you're having fun and if you're enjoying it, it will show in the product as well. And that goes for anything that you cook in general. If you're enjoying it, if you enjoy the process, and anything in life, to be honest, if you enjoy your job, then it's not going to feel like work, right? And essentially I've turned what was a hobby into my work. So when I'm here, even though technically I'm working, I'm earning my money, I'm earning, my daily bread, it doesn't ever feel like it. If you've probably seen me talk to the customers in my other videos and stuff like that. I massively enjoy what I do, and I hope other people do too. So let's make a pizza. So I've got some flour out here, just going to get a dough ball out. It's the first one of the day. See how it comes out. Gosh. Okay, what am I actually going to do? I'm going to bring you down here so you get a better view of this. A better view of the assemble here. So I'll just point you up like this. Cool, right. So, got my dough. Going to push my air to the crust. Flip it round. Give it a slap. Right, ready to be topped. This one, I was umming and ahhing whether or not to make it a tomato base, but I think it's going to be a nicer as a tomato based pizza, so we're going to go on with our tomato. Not going to go crazy with the tomato though on this one. Got our pecorino. It's a sheep's milk cheese. I use a vegetarian one, so this pizza is going to be completely vegetarian. Got a decent, nice smattering of basil on there. Gonna get our fior di latte mozzarella, and that is essentially already, that's a margherita pizza done. I mean, that's the beginnings of this one. And then we're gonna get our aubergine that we roasted off. A little bit of aubergine on here, not loads, don't need loads. Gonna get our olives. Oh, dropping a couple on the floor. And nice bit of red onion, not too much. I'm going to put the red onion on at the top so it gets a little bit more, gets rid of that rawness out of it. A little smattering of oil, and that's ready for the oven. Got my new weapon of choice. This is my Gozney Pro Peel. If you check out my last video where I was in the camper van going a Gozney shoot, I was basically shooting with this, so it's the first time I've used this one in the van. I'm gonna just go to the limits. I've been looking forward to having this one. It's just they sent me the larger one and not this one, so yeah, this one arrived actually the same day I was down doing the shoot. So there you go, we've got a pizza. Gonna crank our oven up to a higher flame. It's running at 450 degrees. Gonna get straight in towards the back, straight down, and we're in. Right, let's see if we can bring you in a bit closer. Put you over here on a blue roll. There you go, hopefully you can see this. Gonna use my Gozney balance peel as well. You can see it baking. Just gonna get underneath it, check the underside. Just still waiting for it to puff up. Gonna break the whole seal. I'm gonna give it one complete turn and put it back in the same spot. Look at that, checking the underside, making sure I get a nice colour on it. It's looking lovely. Let's put the tracking on so it can track the movements of the pizza. Sorry, hopefully you can't hear that. Someone's going past with a really loud ass trolley. So the base of that pizza is cooked. I'm just going to cook out the toppings and the cheese. Just make sure I get a nice colour on the crust. Okay, that's done. There you go. Okay, so there we go, we're done. Going to put this one in a box. Oh. Okay, so we got the pizza in the box. Gonna get a nice little bit of feta cheese. Just gonna crumble a bit of feta cheese on this at the end. Not too much, not too little. Just gonna make it taste banging. And then we're gonna get our balsamic drizzle. It's just a store-bought balsamic, this one, but it's really nice. And we're just gonna give that a little drizzle to finish it off. And there you go, that is today's special. Veggie special. You got roast aubergine, olives, red onion, little what's it called, feta cheese, and balsamic. It's a banger. Okay, let's give it a cut, give it a taste. I'm gonna go for this one. Big old slice, look at that. Cheers. That is pretty damn good. I'm loving that salty addition to the feta. Yeah, that's a banger. Really nice. Balsamic just lifts it as well. Yo, so that pizza is banging. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you want me to cover next time. I hope that was really helpful. Sorry if I missed anything. There's a lot to actually talk about, and this week actually I'm going to be shooting my full dough making video, full process, what I do, why I do it, and how I make my pizza for my business. So if you want to see that, subscribe, like this video, share it with your mates, stuff like that. So my dough recipe is coming, and have a lovely day. Thank you very much.